Just saying ni hao. Introducing myself.
Yes.
Ojia William. 你的名字是什么什么? I had a really great time there. And so even interacting with that. We did have a great time.
Yes. You also enrolled in Nairobi Toastmasters, which also I'm a member. Why did you think of Nairobi Toastmasters? There is a lot of venues of improving your skills.
In Toastmasters, there are different pathways that you can choose from. Since I was more familiar to my own thing, which is being dynamic, Toastmasters offers such a program whereby you can take, it's more of like a co-curriculum. You choose a path that you want to do projects in, and then you do each and every project. There are objectives in each project. So you are able to meet these goals and use the same skills that you have learned in Toastmaster in your reality. Every day, I want to be better than I was yesterday.
Hello everyone, welcome to Sango Insights. This is episode 6, and today we have none other than Mr. William Njoro. William Njoro will introduce himself to Sango Insights. William Njoro, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Fadi, for coming in here. I'm really delighted and I feel like at home when I'm here.
Yes.
I'm having a great time. My name is William Njoro, like you said. And if I was given an opportunity to introduce William Njoro, the best word that I will use is dynamic.
Dynamic.
I find myself being so dynamic in various things. Like for example, I'm a business owner. And apart from being a business owner, I work for an institution, which is a government institution. At the same time, I'm learning other things. I'm a Toastmaster. And also, I'm a loctician. I'm a manager. I'm a strategist. And also, I believe myself to be a salesman, which is the most crucial thing that I'm always looking forward to become or realize as a goal. Actually, when I started everything, even in business, I realized that selling an item was an issue and I had to do something about it. And that's the reason why I ended up being so dynamic. Even at some point, I had to learn other languages.
That is profound. Mr. William.
Yes.
You seem to espouse a good English. Where did you have your education? In terms of primary, in terms of secondary?
Thank you for that question. My education background, I would start by saying that I schooled in Loresho Primary School. It's a school here in the Loresho, within the Loresho estate. I schooled there for about a year. And while I was there, there was an issue. I wasn't focusing my studies. And in order to move from that and be able to focus on only my studies, my parents had to make a decision. That's how I ended up in Molo Academy. It's a school in the uplands of Kenya. It's in Molo. I schooled there from class 3. I started boarding there when I was very young. Actually, at some point, I even feel like I was doing time when I was there because I missed home. You can see the distance from Molo up to Nairobi. It's not something that takes only an hour to get there. It's a journey. And most of the days, even before, most of the days when I used to open school and get there, I was even feeling sad that I'm going to be left alone in that boarding school. But later on, I learned how to be resilient. I learned to be disciplined. I learned overcoming struggles, being able to gather myself even when I'm alone. because I remember when I was enrolled in Molo Academy, I had no friends. I had to look for ways to feel as if I was part of the school. And it's as a result of that I became who I am today.
And Mr. William, you have said that your parents took a bold decision and they have introduced you to a boarding school. How has that impacted your life since you have joined boarding school? We know life there is a little bit tough. How has it impacted your life?
One thing I remember is that before I got there, I was more dependent on my parents.
Yeah.
But when I was enrolled in boarding school, I had to think of solutions within to find problems. I had to know how to relate with others. And more so, I had to learn how to focus only in my studies. And that's what I ended up being, what I ended up doing. Since being in boarding school, you're only doing what you're only focused on is your studies, and of course other things that are involved in the curriculum, like for example, anything to do with playing. Like for example, we do have different sports within the school. Yeah, I was active in sports. I was also active in other indoor games. I was active even in basketball. I was active in drama. I was also a member of the choir, the school choir. I've been dynamic, just like I said, since way time, even before I got here, where I am today. Yeah.
And will you, given now you're a parent, Mr. William, because I know you personally, will you introduce your kids to a day school or will you take them to a boarding school?
Now, considering that I've experienced both, I've been to a day school and also I've been to a boarding school. What I would recommend is having your kids in a day school, because you need to support these kids on a daily basis. You need to interact with them. And being present in those kids fosters a habit that you have as a parent. Whereas when you're in a boarding school, you end up gathering habits from other kids, and you don't have time to have a conversation with your parents. Like right now, I remember even before I started my business, I had a hard time having a conversation with my father that I will start this dreadlock business and had to wear locks. We didn't have that conversation. And it was a conversation that didn't go well, purely because we didn't have a frequent conversation.
An ample time to spend with your parents.
I didn't have all time
to share your stories, your sentiments, your feelings, everything. So you're recommending that you will take your kids to a day school so that when they come home, they will have an opportunity to interact with you.
Of course, I want to be close to them.
That is nice intake.
But at the same time, also I think also a boarding school can work as well as a day school, because I've been there and also have the same with my parents. I have a conversation with my father. I normally have meaningful conversation with him.
What about your high school? We have known that you went to a primary school in Loration, also in Molo. High school, where did you went?
I went to Koilel High School. Koilel High School.
Koilel High School?
Koilel School is a school it's a high school within Gilgil. And it was quite different from Molo Academy. Because Koilel High School, it's within the barracks. And when you're having a school within a barracks, you're more confined to a different structure that we have in other high schools. I remember we used to to stand attention when you're having check-ins in the dormitories. I don't know whether the school still have such routines.
Yeah.
But it was a good routine since you are able to follow. Since you're able.
You mean it has inculcated a lot of discipline?
Yeah, true. It has. Yeah. It has.
Mr. William, sorry to cut you short.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Mr. William, you're a good orator. As far as I know you, you're a good communicator.
Yeah.
You're a good storyteller. When did you start having these oratory skills? Was it when you were primary? Was it when you were secondary? And how was your journey of becoming a good orator?
That's a good question. So this is what happened.
Yeah.
Well, I was still in Molo Academy.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity that I was given by one of the teachers who was a drama teacher. He had asked the students whether they know any person who can be able to do a narrative,
yeah,
and who had a sensitive sense of humor.
Yeah.
And students actually vouched for me. And I remember I did a narrative by the title Omulu Kanyala Bandu. Omulu Kanyala Bandu.
Yeah. Can you elaborate it for us?
Omulu Kanyala Bandu.
Yeah.
I actually don't know the meaning of the name, but I remember Omulu Kanyala Bandu was somebody who had so many women. And what do you mean, who had so many women? I mean, he used to go around chasing women.
Yeah, the conversation is getting interesting.
And that's how he ended up being positive with HIV/AIDS, of which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So the story was about that. And the call to action was to inform the young people that you're supposed to be cautious about those people we have intercourse with. And so, out of that story that I was sharing as a narrative, I gathered that I had oratory skills. But I didn't know that I was chasing my own tail, since I ended up doing other things. Just like I've told you, I'm a dynamic person. I want to try so many things so that I can be able to learn, and at the same time expose myself to different opportunities. And so I didn't focus in anything to do with drama. I didn't focus anything to do with music, even though I was in the choir.
Yeah.
And so when I joined high school, I was only focusing in my studies. But at the same time, I remember I used to love dancing, and I would get chances to dance in front of the whole school. And out of that, I was able to stand in front of an audience and do something. But at that time, I was not doing anything to do with speaking. I was not doing anything with communication.
How was your experience when you were being called to stand and narrate maybe a story or give a talk to maybe a crowd of people? What was your experience of that first day?
The first time?
Yeah.
The first time was awkward.
Yes.
While I was in Koilel High School, I was a laboratory prefect. And each and every week, we had prefects on duties. And during that week, we did have parades. Yeah. And during the parade, one of the prefects that was on duty was supposed to speak in front of the other students during the parade. I was given an opportunity.
Yeah.
Only because the other prefect chickened out. And when I stood in front of the parade to speak to the school, I was not even able to finish my speech. I rushed from the podium until I felt like I was not resonating with something in my mind when I was pondering about this. And so I decided that in order to get from that bad experience that I had while I was but I was in front of the audience.
Yeah.
I had to do something about it. And that's how I ended up being a Toastmasters. That's how I ended up learning a language. That's also how I ended up using the same strategies that I used to learn Mandarin and apply the same strategies to learn English. Because when I was learning Mandarin, as I was acquiring the language, I also realized that I was not able to speak English. I was a bit rusty in English and had to improve on that too.
How was your experience learning Mandarin, and why did you opt to learn Mandarin? There is a lot of languages. There is Francis language. There is the proliferation of your English capacity. Mm-hmm. Why did you opt for Mandarin?
Why did I opt? Learning Mandarin is simply as doing business. I remember my father had promised me that we'll be going to China to purchase some products so that we can come here and sell them.
Yes.
We are starting a construction company, even though we were not able to achieve some things. And so when he told me that we'll be traveling to China, I started learning the basic language. Right now, I'm a bit rusty in Mandarin because I ended up doing other things. But I also learned something from that experience, acquiring a language. And I was doing this on myself. I used to do that while watching YouTube videos, but also being in class. I was very good in the basics because Mandarin is all about the tone.
Yeah.
I was really good in the basic. Yeah. And I was actually given an opportunity to actually teach the basic Mandarin at Discovery Cultural Center, which is here in Nairobi. And I will ask the students to employ the same strategies so that they could be able to grasp the languages.
When was that time you were learning Mandarin? When was it?
I started in 2017.
2017?
Yeah, 2017.
That is a long time ago, Mr. William.
Yeah, it's almost a decade now.
And if you don't practice, how do you remember it up to? Do you remember it up to now?
Yes, yeah, I do remember some basic Mandarin.
Basic?
Yeah, just the basic Mandarin. But you know, when it comes to language, the most basic things can resonate with that person that you're having a conversation with, especially the Chinese that we have even in Nairobi street. Mm-hmm. Each and every time I come across somebody who's familiar with the language, I try my best to speak it. Just saying ni hao, introducing myself.
Yes.
Ojia Weilian, 你的名字是什么什么 something like that.
Can you translate it for our audience?
So Shema means what?
What?
Ni means you. And so if at all you want to say me, you say ni. You say wo. Wo means me. Ni means you. These are the basic things. For example, if somebody was referring to us, he will say ta. Yeah, ta meaning us. Yeah. So if at all I was having a conversation with you and I wanted to introduce myself, I will say, 我叫 my name. 是 is William. But I'm pronouncing William using a Chinese tone. William, yes.
Do you remember a time whereby you used Mandarin and maybe you got a business or you got an opportunity, or did you feel impact of learning Mandarin at one point in your life?
Yeah, I did.
And when was that?
It was just a couple of months ago. We were in Ethiopia together. I remember we were in Ethiopia together.
I remember you having a conversation with a Chinese guy.
Yeah, you remember I had a conversation with a Chinese guy, yeah? So when I was approaching this guy, even if my Mandarin is rusty, just telling him ni hao changed everything. And we started talking with him, and he told me about himself. I got a drink from him.
Yes.
If I could not have known how to speak Mandarin, I could not have gotten to a point whereby I'm having a conversation with anybody it was, what was the name of that place? I can't remember the name of the place that we...
Bycinia
Hotel, yeah.
Something like that.
No, I mean where we were at that place where they had the traditional dances.
Yeah, it's called a Bycinia.
It's called a Bycinia.
Yeah.
I had a really great time there. Yeah. And so even interacting with that... we did have a great time.
Yes.
And actually even interacting with that Chinese guy, I remember even when we got to the stage where we were dancing, like they were dancing, he even gathered courage to come on stage. Just because I was able to speak Chinese, I was able to speak Mandarin with him. He felt like he was part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Communication. Let's indulge in communication.
Right.
Why do you think communication is important in doing a lot of activities, whether in doing business, whether in conveying a message, whether it's selling yourself? And how do you advise someone who is poor in communication?
I think, and I believe, communication, it's a key to success. When I started, I came across a book by the title Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
And in that book, I had to follow the instructions, define my goals. And my goal was to become a loctician, manager, strategist, and a salesman.
What is a loctician?
A loctician is anybody that specializes in anything to do with the blocks.
Yes.
Yeah. And in all those roles that I wanted to become, I realized that what I didn't have was the skill to have a conversation, or the skill to negotiate, to persuade, to sell ideas. And it's out of communication skills, harnessing them, that I was able to become a loctician. You know, when you're in a profession and you want to seem as somebody who is familiar with what he's trying to share, you have to communicate what you do. And without that, you're not able to convince your clients. So as to approach them, I had to know how to communicate with them. May it be in English, it might be even in Sheng, in my mother tongue. I had to do that. Harnessing my communication styles, harnessing my communication skills was a key that unlocked so many things. I was poor in English. I wasn't good in also Swahili. I wasn't good in even speaking my own mother tongue. Yeah, I wasn't good.
What about Sheng?
Yeah?
What about Sheng?
Sheng?
Yeah.
I was a bit nervous when I wanted to speak with others, especially those people that I was not familiar with. First, when it came to having a conversation with somebody who is a stranger to me, it was a bit uncomfortable for me. But with time, I realized, in order for me to make a difference, I have to learn these things. And that's how I started. I started even making sure that each and every client that's coming in the salon, either he speaks Sheng, either he speaks Swahili, either he speaks English, I have to say something. Mainly because I want to sell my ideas. And without selling your ideas, you cannot be successful in those things that you want to be successful in. So communication opens so many doors. Yeah.
You also enrolled in Nairobi Toastmasters, which also I'm a member. Why did you think of Nairobi Toastmasters? There is a lot of venues of improving your skills. There is a lot of venues in shaping the way you communicate. Why Nairobi? Why Toastmasters at large?
The reason why I joined Toastmasters is to become a better communicator, become a better leader.
What unique thing does it have?
In Toastmasters,
Yeah.
there are different pathways that you can choose from. Since I was more familiar to my own thing, which is being dynamic, Toastmasters offers such a program whereby you can take, it's more of like a co-curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah. You choose a path that you want to do projects in, and then you do each and every project. There are objectives in each project. So you are able to meet these goals and use the same skills that you have learned in Toastmaster in your reality. I don't know whether that's clear.
It's clear. And what are the some of challenges you faced as a member of a Toastmasters club when you're starting your journey?
The challenge that I would really like to mention is the fact that I had filler words.
Wow.
Each and every time I was having a conversation with anybody.
What are the filler words for those
Filler words
people
are,
who don't understand it?
a filler word might be something like It can also be a clutch word, a word that you keep on repeating in a conversation or maybe in your statements. Some of the filler words like you have can be like, for example, can be so, can be now. I was used to using and in every statement that I was in every time I was having a conversation, I will use and each and every time. And this, and this. I came and I went and we did this and we did this.
Oh, but that is the reason why the R counter normally.
Yeah. In Toastmasters, we do have a R counter. And the role of the R counter is to make sure that people are aware of these clutch words when they're speaking. So you can imagine yourself, you're in a meeting and the one who is speaking, and each and every time you use a filler word, the guy hits a glass. So each and every time I will hear a sound, I'll make sure that I'm paused so that I can recollect myself and express myself coherently without really thinking about what I'm going to say next. Just share my ideas. Yeah.
How long does it take you to prepare a speech when you are maybe you want to make a speech in Toastmasters? How long does it take you? And what method do you use? Do you write it down? Do you maybe use other platforms? Or you just go there and share your story without even referring to any material?
No, when it comes to communication, there are 4 skills.
Yeah.
There's listening, there's speaking, there's reading, and writing. So before even, now that's a filler word. So before even sharing anything, I want to make sure that I'm knowledgeable what I'm going to be sharing with you. So that means preparation and practice. Each and every time I get an opportunity to do a speech, I write it down. I tweak it as much as possible so that it can come out naturally. I go through the script. After going through the script as many times as possible, I internalize the speech. And after internalizing the speech now, I feel like I'm confident to share the speech. And how do I do that? I share it with myself first. I stare myself in the mirror and I start doing my own thing. I practice. I make sure that I practice so many times so that it can come out naturally. And after that, now I need an evaluation from others. I can either do it in front of my fellow Toastmasters or any other person that I feel comfortable with. And getting an evaluation, you are able to know where you need to improve on and what are your strengths.
How is it important to work on the evaluations, to work on the feedbacks, to work on the comments the people give you? How is it important when you want to improve your communication skills?
What I believe is 2 minds are greater than 1.
Yes.
You might be perceiving yourself in a certain way, but in reality, that's not the reality to you. You might be picturing yourself in a certain way in your mind, but when it comes to reality, those are two different things. It's like night and day.
Yes.
You might think like you are dancing a great move, or maybe you're doing some great moves, especially when it comes to dancing. But when you watch yourself dancing, you see as if you're dancing with both legs. They are both left legs. When you are able to focus one thing that you're supposed to do, like for example preparing, it comes out natural.
Yeah. You put it so well. Let's indulge in growth and mindset. You read a book by Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon. I think it is important for a person to have a mindset whereby he wants to grow his capacity, a mindset whereby he wants to grow his business, a mindset whereby he wants to sharpen and also improve his communication and everything. So, what do you advise those people who are not willing to grow, those people who are stuck somewhere and they're not maybe they don't want to grow at any point? What advice do you have for them?
You see, if at all you don't want growth, what's the opposite of that? You are deteriorating. You are degrading yourself. You're not adding any value to yourself. But at the same time, you want to be paid more. Or you want to seem more valuable. And to see more, for you to be able to create more value, you have to work on it. You have to do it on a daily basis. You have to practice. You have to focus. You have to organize yourself. You have to auto-suggest all these things in your mind so that you can be able to have a trajectory that you perceive yourself, you imagine yourself in your mind. So if you're the kind of person who's always talking to yourself in a negative way, of course you won't get any growth.
So you have to be a sanguine, positive person.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be
for
positive.
For you to grow.
Yeah.
When did you know that you are a storyteller? I was reading your bio you sent me. You are a storyteller. You also in TikTok. You normally, what is your TikTok handle? William Njoroge Mwigo and Njoroge, just my name, William Njoroge Mwigo. What was the title
about the title? The name that I'm using right now is Njoro I am.
Njoro I am.
Yeah, simply because I'm also Will. You can call me Will I am, but I don't want to use that. So I think Njoro I am can work better with me because I don't want to seem like I'm copying anybody.
So it's unique.
Yeah.
Njoro I am.
Yes, Njoro I am.
Njoro I am. Njoro I am. You use normally your TikTok to convey messages, to tell your stories, to share your ideas. Basically, I normally see you and it's very good initiative. How has it impacted you, and how has it impacted your those followers of yours?
You see, the thing is, when I started even narrating about myself, I felt like I became more vulnerable. And it's out of vulnerability that you find something positive. You have to face your fears if you want to become better in
anything.
Better in anything. Even if it means to going in the darkest places, finding the treasures within. Because fear is part of who we are. So out of the vulnerability that I've seen or that I've shared, I've used it as a positive thing so as to improve on the version that I picture myself, how I picture myself in future, or to improving the person who I was in the past. Because each and every day I want to be better than I was yesterday.
That is profound. Bettering yourself and each and every day. And Njoro, you're also a CEO of Wilock's business.
Yeah.
Why did you start Wilock's business, and whose idea was it? Was it your idea? Was it a friend of yours? Was it you read it from somewhere and you started, and you said to yourself that this is the business I want to associate myself with?
Why did I think of starting Wilocks?
Where Wilocks?
It was simple as Wilocks. We started the business with my friend. My friend by the name Peter Wangewa, who is also a director and an owner of the business.
Yeah.
We're operating within along Wayakiwe.
Yeah.
And there was a time we took a minibus to town, and we are having a conversation with him, and we are asking ourselves, what should we do so as to get ourselves out of the normal daily activities that we had. We didn't feel that we didn't want to be in the comfortable zone. We wanted to grow.
It's a killer zone, by the way.
Yeah, it's a killer zone. Yeah,
Comfort is a killer zone.
Yeah, true. So while we are in the minibus, the matatu, we were asking ourselves, if at all we are going to start a business, what kind of business are we going to start? My friend back then still had locks. I didn't have locks. And so I had to wear them. And when we were having this conversation in that minibus, that's how we even came up with the name, Wilocks. Wilocks mean, which is a sentence asking yourself, Wilocks, to solve a problem. And the problem that you are solving is to make sure that those people who wanted to wear locks want to make sure that they were neat, want to make sure that they looked professional. And that's how we ended up having Wilocks, without the H. Wilocks. Wilocks taught me patience, because he even started the business when he didn't have the necessary skills. And we'd learn from each other. We didn't have customers. We had to know how to negotiate with other people. We had to know how to negotiate so that we can be able to gain customers. We had to know we had to be knowledgeable about anything to do with sales, marketing, and all those things.
How did you gain the trust of the customers when you only had a basic understanding of locks?
Now that's where communication skills comes in. Having the right skills, you'll be able to attract people just because you have a sweet tongue. Even if you don't have the right skills, you look more confident when you know what you're talking about. If you're talking about locks, just talk about locks. Keep on talking about them. And then customers will realize that this guy is serious about this, and he wants really to venture into this. I didn't know how to sell at first. I remember we'll even stick in the salon for hours without even serving a client. But with time, clients started coming in. And how did they start coming in also? We did have strategies that we had to employ. I had family members who had dreadlocks. We had to invite them into the salon. We had to do services at a discount. We had to ask influencers to be part of the business.
Yeah.
And that's how we grew.
Before we go to that, you told me you and your friend Peter, you were in a mat and then you thought of the idea, that the Wilocks idea. What is the duration that you guys used by having the idea and working on the idea? Like, when did you open the first shop? When did you open the first kiosk? Did it take you a week between the idea and the activity? Did it take you a month? Did it take you an hour? What is the duration?
So what happened when you started Wirelocks? We had to open a Facebook account, a business Facebook account.
When was that?
It was in 2016, even before we had a physical. We had a physical premises. We used to do mobile salon. We were mobile, so each and every time clients would reach us via our social media, the Facebook account, would ask us to come to their location. So we used to do only mobile, and it was not something that was even comfortable with us. And since we are not comfortable with that, we decided that we are going to open a physical shop. When we started, we were operating mobile for almost a year. And it's out of that we were confident enough to have a physical salon. I mean, to have a physical place only because we had the skills now. We used to learn from our family members who had dreadlocks. Each and every time we'll have such clients, we'll make sure that we were doing it as a group so that we could be able to share ideas, learn from each other. And also we'll also ask our clients what kind of styles maybe probably they wanted, if at all they had any new ideas. And we kept doing that on a daily basis until we were able to gain the necessary skills. So we were ready even before we opened the physical shop.
Was there a time, Mr. William, whereby you and Peter, when you were starting this venture, and that you faced a lot of hurdles, you faced a lot of roadblocks, a lot of challenges, and then you started thinking of the idea and maybe you started on ceasing doing this particular business? Was there a moment like that?
Yes, there was. Serving clients at Wirelocks Salon meant a lot to us, to a point whereby we'll interact with them, having a conversation, like, for example, sharing stories. We'll share stories, personal stories between ourselves, while clients were listening to us. Sometimes we'll just make jokes. The energy in Wirelocks Salon is an enthusiastic energy that you have once you enter the salon. And each and every time we'll have a conversation or a discussion within the salon, people will be attracted to such kind of things. And that's how I realized that I have a strength in storytelling. Within the salon, there are other better storytellers than I am. We are learning from each other. And being in the storytelling business opened my eyes into other things, like, for example, Toastmasters, enhancing my strength, which is storytelling. And that's how I even ended up opening another brand, which runs as Njoro I on TikTok. And it's out of a spark of Dreadlock that I got this. It's out of that I realized I have these strengths. It's out of that I realized that I do have weaknesses. I have to improve on these weaknesses so as to make them my strength as well.
You sent me your bio, and in your bio, when you were doing this business of Wirelocks, you wore a lot of shirts. You were the salesperson, you were the marketing guy, you are the human resource, you are the accountant, you are a lot of things. which activities, the ones I mentioned, which was the hardest to do between being a salesperson, being a...
I would say being a salesperson. Mainly because I was fumbling when it came to speaking in front of others. I would fidget. I would lack even the right words. Each and every time I wanted to share something, I would second guess myself. I had doubts. And since I had that as a weakness, I had to do something about it. Learn how to communicate and be able to solve that problem, which is to be a better salesperson. And being a better salesperson meaning that you have to be confident, especially when you are negotiating with a client, when you're pitching your ideas, when you are persuading them. Because if at all you don't have those skills, then that means you keep on fidgeting and you keep on fumbling. And it won't be something that you would end up finding value in. And so to be able to twist the tables, I had to see a strength in the weakness that I had. Yeah. Something positive.
When you're doing the business, were you also employed? Were you working on other errands, or you are full-time entrepreneur?
I won't even call it entrepreneurship. I would call it being self-employed. There's a difference between entrepreneurship and being self-employed.
Yes, sure.
So when we started Dreadlock, before even we started Dreadlock, I had a gig,
yes,
which was writing. Mm-hmm. I was an article writer, and also academic writer. And this was a seasonal thing. And since I wanted something that would be able to propel me forward, a long-term thing, unlike the seasonal thing that I was experiencing with writing, we had to start the business. And starting that business meant that I had to stop doing other things so that I could be able to concentrate on only that one thing.
Why do you call it self-employed instead of business or entrepreneurship?
I'll call it self-employed because when you are an entrepreneur, despite you being present in that business, it's still running. But when you're self-employed, when you have employed yourself, that means that you have to always be there so that the business can be able to operate. So there was some point whereby when I was not within the salon, when clients got there and didn't find me, they will not be served, since they only wanted to be served by that one location. That's the reason why I call it self-employment.
And did you guys transition from business and from the business wanting you to business being independent?
Yeah.
You guys, did you transition?
Yeah, we did. And how did you do that?
Yeah.
We employed others. And by employing others, we taught them the skills that we learned, the skills that we didn't have. And they will get a commission just serving the clients.
Yeah.
So we transition, and I was able, or I observed the transition because I was not present at some point and clients were being served. There was a point whereby when I transitioned from self-employment into employment, I had to leave that business and watch it from afar. And watching it from afar meant that even those clients that I was serving back then and was not in a position to serve them, they were still being served at Dreadlock.
Yeah.
That meant that there was value in the business with or without my presence.
There are those people who believe actually that your staff or your employees won't run the business the way the owner of the business will run it. Do you agree with them, or do you debunk that notion?
I would say, let me be neutral in this one. Because when you're in self-employment, then that means you have to be there so that the business can be able to run.
Yeah.
But if at all the business is running without your presence, then that means that you're delegating. And if you're able to delegate, just make sure that you're delegating this task to the right kind of people, the people who have the right skills, who have acquired or gained experience. Because when you delegate some activities to the wrong guy, then that means you won't get the work done. And you cannot be able to suffice each and every person in a business, especially the clients. But you can be able to give them 80% or maybe probably 90%. Just like you have said, you might feel like you're not giving the 100% only because that you're not present. But if you're working with a team that's able to give more than 80%, then that means that that's more like an A to me.
Given opportunity, Mr. William, to start another business or another venture, which business will you indulge in?
That's a great question. If there's something that I do without thinking too much about it, is storytelling. I see myself as a great orator.
How is that a business?
Why am I saying this? How is that a business? Because I've already started a brand by the name Njoro I, which concentrate mainly in telling stories. And so I'm focused on storytelling, so that I can be able to create value by sharing what I've experienced, sharing what I've learned out of these stories, or maybe probably sharing other people's stories and telling the audience what I've gained from those stories, or asking them what they really think they can gain from such stories.
Yeah.
So it's more of like I'm solving a problem for the audience.
Besides storytelling, do you have any other business idea in mind?
Yes.
What is that business?
Construction.
Construction.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried?
Yeah, I've already. Yeah. I tried. We tried with a great team that I had, but you're not able to enter into the market, and we are not able to enter into the industry, mainly because we didn't have the necessary skills, or probably call it experience.
What do you think is the number one cause why starters fail in the first year of business?
I think starters fail, and I believe they do fail just because of one thing. There might be several things, but I believe one thing, which is patience. Most people want an overnight success, and it can't happen overnight. So I have this mindset whereby I'm always telling myself that there should be consistent in what you do. And before even the consistency comes in, there should be commitment. Commitment means that you are patient with yourself. It won't happen overnight. It might not even happen in a year. But when you're consistent with what you do, when you think about the process and not think about or dwell on the results, it will just happen spontaneously, even without you thinking. It's more of like the apex of the apex of the principles in Think and Grow Rich. The apex is the sixth sense. If you are able to learn and practice on a daily basis, if you're able to be persistent in whatever you do, you are sure that you're going to get results. Don't think about the results. Think about the process. Create an identity of a person who does the work rather than thinking about the results.
Do you think that creating systems, creating manuals for business is essential?
Yes, it is.
No.
And why is it essential?
Yeah.
A business has a routine. And out of the routines that you have in a business, there is a structure, there is a culture. And it's out of the culture that you try to fold in that specific business that you're venturing into, that you'll be able to grow, you'll be able to compare. You cannot be able to compare two things if at all you don't have the other thing. Who you are in the past should be different from who you are right now, which is the present moment.
What do you think is the future of Dreadlock and Njoro I?
Njoro I is an orator who's going to be sharing memorable and relatable stories in the future. There will be growth even in how I articulate myself, how I express myself, how I present myself. And I will use Njoro I as a platform to also improve how Dreadlock Salon runs, to sell the idea so that they can be able to get more investors and open more branches within the country, or maybe probably outside the country. It's a spark that has already sparked another spark. I don't know whether that makes sense.
It does. Given, what will you tell this William 10 years ago? What message will you tell this William 10 years ago?
Simple message. Tulia. Take it slowly. This is a process.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
Creating an identity of a person who does the work rather than thinking about the results is more important to you. How I used to picture myself in the past is quite different from how I'm picturing myself right now. Njoro or William should be committed with his goals so as he'll be able to transform the identity that I picture myself.
Yeah. What advice do you have to those young people who want to start the journey of entrepreneurship?
Have faith in yourself. Have prep talks with yourself, because it's out of the positive auto-suggestions that you have that you'll be able to change and transform the person that you are. Be organized. And what do I mean by being organized? An organized person is a person that is ahead of himself. He wants to keep on creating better ideas, better habits, so that he can be able to transform himself. Use those tools. Without using the right tools, you'll not be able to get there ahead of others. And keep on practicing each and every day. Keep on improving yourself. Keep on comparing yourself with the person who you are yesterday rather than the person that's next to you.
Your message is clear, Mr. William Njoro, and I believe a lot of people will benefit from it. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for giving us your insights, your information, your knowledge, your ideas. They were robust, they were very meaningful, precise, and to the point.
Thank you.
And we would like to host you again and again and again. I would like to remind you, the audiences, our people, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button, and leave us a comment about what you have benefited from today.